Alright guys, I kind of gotta be quick. Nursing Kim has to get in here pretty soon. So let's talk real quick about experiment 9. We're almost to the end, thank goodness. This experiment is not difficult at all. It shouldn't take you that long. But I do want to talk about a few things as far as solubility goes and the graph that you'll get, because we haven't really discussed that in lecture just yet. So real quickly, let me tell you a few things about the procedure itself. So if you look on the very first page, you see this chart here, or this table. It tells you that you need to label 2 test tubes with your assigned amount of KNO3. Here in the first column, you have test tube numbers. So every group is going to do only 2 test tubes instead of the 4. So what we're going to do is you're going to work with another lab group. One lab group will do test tube 1 and 3, the other will do 2 and 4. So in the middle column, that tells you how much or how many grams of KNO3 you need to add to those test tubes per 2.5 distilled milliliters of water. This third column is what you will enter into your LabQuest. That is just the proportion of your grams of KNO3 per 100 grams of water, because that's how we plot that for a solubility curve. So it tells you in step 1 that you'll be working with another group. Then we will share this. Okay, so I've got my setup kind of already done for you. I've got my hot plate, I've got a ring stand, I have a beaker that would be full of water, my hot plate would be on, I've added my KNO3, and I've added my 2.5 milliliters of distilled water. So I just lower this down into the water. You can actually go ahead and do that step while you're getting your LabQuest out so that your water can be heating up. If you look at figure 9.1, there are 2 clamps that they use, one to clamp the test tube, then one to keep the temperature cord away from the hot plate. So make sure that you don't have to get another utility clamp to keep your cord away from your hot plate. Just be aware that it doesn't need to be near the hot plate. We don't want to burn this and short this out. Okay? So the only thing you're getting from your veneer drawer is 1 temperature probe. Then you pick up your LabQuest from the first bench up there, okay? Make sure you go to your drawer number. Make sure that that drawer number corresponds to your temp probe number, okay? Then we are going to plug our temp probe into channel 1. I don't think it says that, but that's where it goes. Okay, so when I do that, my LabQuest starts reading the temperature. You can go ahead, put your temp probe in the water bath, not the actual test tube, in the water bath. Then we need to set up our LabQuest so that it collects the data how we want to. So we're going to go over here to the top where it says mode. We're going to press that. We're going to be prompted to this screen. You need to change the mode to events with entry. The event name is solubility. If I could spell. Okay. Then the units will be gram per 100 grams. And then you select done and OK. So then the next step says fill a 400 ml beaker 3/4 full of tap water. I've already done that. Place it on the hot plate. Already done that. Then set up according to figure 9.1. Number 6, use a utility clamp to fasten your test tube to the ring stand. Lower the test tube in the water. In order to dissolve all of the KNO3, test tube 3 and 4 may need to be heated to a higher temp than test tube 1 and 2 because it has more solid in it. And solubility increases with increasing temperature. So you can use your stirring rod to mix your solution in your test tube until it's completely dissolved. Do not leave the test tube in the water bath any longer than necessary. So once you've set this up, you are now ready to press start on your LabQuest. When you do that, it'll take you to the graph screen. Okay, so you don't do anything with this for now. So I press start. When the KNO3 is completely dissolved, remove the tip probe from your water bath, wipe it dry with a paper towel, and place it in the solution that's in your test tube. So I'll go ahead and put it in my test tube. Unfasten the utility clamp that is holding your test tube and pull it out of the hot water. Make sure that your test tube is in there securely. Hold the test tube up to the light to look for the first sign of crystal formation. At the same time, stir the solution with a slight up and down motion with your temp probe. Don't do this with a lot of force, or you're going to break the test tube and have to start over. At the moment crystallization starts to occur, you're going to tap the keep button, sorry, I can't talk, on your LabQuest. It's right next to the stop button. So I'm going to press keep. When I do that, it asks for my solubility in grams per 100 grams. That is going to be the number in the third column in this first table. So if you're on test tube 1, that would be 40 is what you would enter into your LabQuest. So I'll just go ahead and do 40. Then you press OK. Now you have saved the data pair. Return the test tube to the test tube rack and place your temp probe back in the water bath for the next trial. You're going to repeat steps 6 and 7 for your second test tubes, but there are some suggestions there listed for you. For test tube 1 and 2, these don't have very much KNO3 in it, so the crystals, first off, are going to be harder to see than test tube 3 and 4. But to get it to a lower temperature, you could get a separate beaker, put cool tap water in that, then put your test tube in there to let it cool to kind of speed up the crystallization process. This drops the temperature much faster than the air, but you don't want your crystals to form too quickly. So if that happens, you just need to stick this test tube back in your hot water bath to completely redissolve the solid. Once you have collected your second data pair, you're going to stop your data collection on your LabQuest. So just press the stop button. Okay. And you can discard the solutions as instructed by your instructor. These can actually all go down the drain. It's just a salt. Examine the data points along the curve of the displayed graph and record your temperature values in your data table. Let me put this up so I don't break anything here. So on your data table, it's at the bottom of your data sheet. You're going to record the temperature at which your crystals started to form. You're going to get with the other lab group that you're working with and get their numbers as well. Then you can clean all of this up. Make sure that you put that temp probe in the correct drawer so I don't have to have another rant next week on the pre-lab video. Put all this up, clean up your workspace, then you're going to go upstairs to the computer lab again and you're going to make your solubility graph. It tells you exactly what to do as far as your graph. It tells you tap both X and Y, put what they are, choose your graph options. You're going to set your X-axis value, set your Y-axis value. Then you're going to plot your 4 points and draw a best fit curve for the data points. Be sure to label your axis with the correct units. Then label the tick marks with the numerical value that they represent. Print your graph and turn it in with your data sheet. Okay. So once you've done that, you have some questions to answer. So let me show you a solubility graph.